Is this video for sailing and entertainment purposes only? You're dang skippy it is.
She never cleaned the litter boxes. I always did that. Whenever we first got together and I would visit, there was this room upstairs where the litter boxes would be, but it also had an extra bed in it. And the litter box was just so... It needed cleaned so bad that there was bed and on the floor.
There's clear my schedule.
There was this one time that we had an argument on the way home, and we stopped in the driveway and argued for a few hours in the car, and she just would not accept me trying to break up with her and would not let us go back in the house until I agreed to give her another chance. She was always wearing a mask when she was recording a video.
Hello, my favorite girly pops. In today's video, we have a long one. I'm going to be giving you my commentary on Beck's new Q&A that they posted on their channel, and it was questions that people asked Mr. Snowflake. So I will link Mr. Snowflake and Beck down below in my description box. I did not post the entire video. Please check out Beck's full entire video. The link is in my description box and their channel, and subscribe. So Beck has spilled a lot of very interesting new information. Some of the information is just really terrible, but things that I obviously expected from Amberlynn. Also, before we get into it, have you ever wanted to purchase a Kermit? Well, now you can. In my game show host voice, my personal Kermits that live with me are always involved in tea and drama. So just in case you want to purchase a Kermit, this is my affiliate link to do so. If he ships for you, whenever he does ship, I hope he ships for you. When he ships for you, please let me know so I can be excited for you. All right, everything I'm going to be talking about, my own opinions, not facts, for entertainment purposes only. Please don't take anything I say too seriously. I'm sharing my opinions based on publicly accessible information made public by public figures first. Please don't go to these people's channels and leave mean-spirited, negative, discouraging, disparaging comments. Again, please check out Beck's entire full video and their channel and sub to them. All right, let's start.
Am I shocked that Amber would want to date if I'm not? And her being with someone who is okay with the weight she's at, or really okay with her gaining more weight, would be the easiest type of relationship for her to be in. I don't really have anything to say about it. I don't know her, but I will say that I don't see how you can care for a person while participating in no concern for their health.
Okay, so I think for me, the only thing I'd like to add to that is that Amberlynn even got broken up with and even lost a person that was completely different than anyone else she's dated, a person that was okay with a lot of things that other people were not okay with. My point here is this. You know how I always tell you, like, I did say this throughout her relationship with Tommy. I did say that, one day when this relationship ends, it will surely end. It's just, it depends on when. Why did I say that? Because I knew that even if Amber had her perfect partner, and I think this person that she was dating was her perfect partner, I think that Amber would no doubt lose that person because Amber, I know the way Amber behaves in relationships. She doesn't show it anymore nowadays, but it's very much so, like very much so shown during the Destiny era and especially during the Beck era. And you can see she hides it now because she now knows that she's caught. But I am telling you, the way that Amberlynn behaves in relationships, she's always going to lose the relationship. Amber, for you to lose this relationship is wild because even I thought that maybe she'd stick around for like a year. The fact that it was like 5 to 6 months, I hope everybody is noticing that Amberlynn can no longer sustain a relationship for a few years like she was able to do with Beck and Wifey. This is very important and will come up in the future. So just remember that. And I did tell you while she was in her fake relationship with Valentine that it's getting harder and harder and harder for Amberlynn to actually pull in partners. Sometimes people come here and they're like, well, how does she get these women to agree to be with her? I think that's not the point because anyone can agree to do anything. I think, is she able to keep them for years? And she's not.
What was your reaction to Amberlynn about Wifey being two different people? How did you feel after she chewed you out, making some stupid joke like you always do? I think back on that live stream where she read that text to you out loud and then went, whoopsies.
I didn't know how anybody would not see through that because it was so obvious that it was the same person. As for the aftermath, she was absolutely mad at me. She was seeing red. She completely blamed me for her being doxxed, said the whole thing was my fault, even though she had done the whole pointing her name out in the live stream and then naming the live stream after her thing.
Honestly, this is just, what can anybody say about this? We talked about this for a very long time. If you don't know what this is about, when Amberlynn was dating ex-wifey slash Feline, she immediately, in the beginning of their relationship, told everybody the state that the person was from, her first name and last name. She pointed her out in a live stream. She still has live streams. Amber still has live streams where she titled the live streams with very revealing personal information from Wifey. What happened after Amber gave out Wifey's first and last name in the state she was in is, of course, people found her identity. Amber denied it and straight out lied. And after Amber doxed Wifey, she came up with a very blatant, very ridiculous lie saying that she broke up with Wifey and now she's dating another person. As Beck told you, completely 100% agree. It was a very blatant, obvious lie, and Amber couldn't keep up to it. That situation, doxing Wifey, shows how desperate Amber is. This is the same problem that she had with Tommy. The reason currently, well, part of the reason, not the whole reason, part of the reason that she lost Tommy is because she needed to show Tommy to everybody to prove that people like her. And she did the same thing with Wifey. Well, she never showed Wifey. She gave out Wifey's first and last name. I mean, what were you thinking, Amber? Because her number one thing is being claimed on the internet and having the haters, the bill payers, believe that she's wanted. Even if they believe this, how does this change your life, Amber? Anyways, so this is the best example of Amberlynn not understanding that her audience is very intelligent. She always thinks she's smarter than the audience. So the thing is, Amber continuously got found out that it was still the same person. Like, for example, Amber likes to write off things on her taxes that she shouldn't. This is my personal opinion. For the purposes of public speaking, it's not a fact, but I'm 100 on this. Yes, it's not a fact, it's an opinion, but I really truly believe what I'm saying is true. Why am I bringing this up? She would show gift hauls that she got with Wifey. Yes, I know, I understand you're not allowed to write this off, but where am I going with this? She would do it around their anniversary time, right? Why is this important? She needed to write things off, my opinion. But here's the main point. Of course, this showed that Amber was not dating two different people, because you cannot have the same exact anniversary with your two different partners if you only started dating one partner at one time. She also said that both partners had the same slippers and had the same movie, same favorite movie. The point being that Amberlynn could not keep up with this lie and eventually admitted to the lie very briefly and did not apologize. Amber, you deserve whatever happens to you on the internet, and I'm going to tell you why. Like, the response that you get, that's what I'm talking about. You deserve the response that you get because you do nothing but deceive.
That's exactly how it was. Like, there would be times that we would be arguing, having a disagreement or something, and then she'll be like, oh, well, I'm getting ready to film, so as soon as she would turn on the camera, it would be a completely different person.
Well, you know what? How does that not scare people who enjoy Amber's content? How does that not absolutely scare you? Now, look, I will tell you this. There should be a little bit of a difference between when a person is filming a YouTube video and when they're living their regular life, because they're just talking about a different topic. But, like, I'm sure I'm going to get people saying, oh my God, everyone is different on YouTube. Not to the point of completely different, where you can't even discern who's the real person. The point of the story is this. Amberlynn is not the real her on camera, and I've said this to you how many times? How many times have I said to you, hey, when she goes live, that's kind of the realest her that you will see. That's very close to her real everyday persona, which is why now her lives are behind a paywall, because she's that afraid to show you who she really is. My point here is this. So when she would film videos with Beck, most of the time you could see during the Beck era how uninterested Beck was, how like Beck just didn't seem like they wanted to be there. And that is probably because they didn't, because Amber would stick a camera in their face. First of all, most people do not want that unless they're vloggers, and Beck did not sign up to be one. But it's deeper than that. Amberlynn would have fights with Beck. They were having problems, and then immediately, like, okay, girlfriend tag, okay, be happy and smiling. And that is not natural. The point I've always tried to make here is that at the end of the day, Amber is presenting a false version of herself in her videos. It is a narrative that usually is not true. And I want to say something, because now is my time to say this. A lot of the times this happens, and it never happens when I make videos about foodie beauty, but it does happen when I make videos about Amber. And the funny thing is, it always happens to me when there's irrefutable proof. Like, and I understand people will say these people are trolling. If they're trolling, that's fine. But if they're not, that's why I want to talk about it. If they're not, there'll be screenshots of what Amber said and did, and then other screenshots of what she said and did that would prove that she's lying, or the opposite. And people will come here, and I see this in other channels as well. It's not just me. And people say, oh, you're reaching. This didn't happen. That is what Amberlynn is counting on. People, there's a very small group of people on the internet that will literally hear and consume how Amber lied to them, not care, and pretend that it's not actually happening. You don't need to blame the reaction channels. You don't even need to believe them. You don't ever need to believe what you're hearing or consuming. Go and fact check it yourself. Right now, go to the Beck era. Go watch the videos that Amberlynn posted with Beck. The majority of them, Beck doesn't want to be there. That's the way that it comes off, because Amber is putting on a falsehood. They did not have the relationship that Amber pretended that they did. I mean, for Kermit's sake, Amberlynn pretty much forced her way in and started living with Beck and started being in a relationship with Beck. Beck didn't even want a relationship at that moment. Amber didn't want to live alone. She wanted to stick it to Destiny. And at the end of the day, Amber, I just wanted to say, I don't think you were able to stick it to any of your exes, because the majority of your exes that we know of, right, have moved on. They're either engaged or married, and they're not bothered. You are still bothered about them and still talking about them. But that is what I've been saying for like a really long time. Like, how is that like an okay thing to do, to continuously present a falsehood on your channel?
Do you think that she convinces herself that her lies are true because she wants them to be true? It's really hard to explain why I think that, but I feel like I've seen it happen.
What would Amber say about her lies when the camera was off? Would she try and justify it to you? Would she say nothing to you at all and pretend her lies were real?
I don't know of actual instances, but I know that there were times where she would be like, make sure you don't mention this or that, just to make sure that things were kept straight.
You know, what I think about all of this is that I personally believe that Amberlynn is always interested in seeing how many people she can get to believe her lies and how many people can get on her side. Since the vocal majority, and I would say the majority of people, see through her nonsense, I think that it just doesn't happen for her the way that she wants. But I think in general, like constantly, like Beck said, don't mention this, try to hide this, whatever. Listen, this is my thing, okay? I will forever be saying this because I think it's so obvious. Amberlynn believes she's smarter than other people, and she still, to this day, after all her lies got exposed, she still wants to continue to lie. Here's a perfect example. Amber, why did you say that Tommy was not who Tommy said that she was? Tommy said you knew her preferences from the start, which is obvious what's going on here. And you said, oh, she's just like, yeah, she likes certain people, whatever, but she's just into me. It's obvious and clear that that is not what it is. And I can prove it to you now that they broke up. If this woman was just with you for you, like your amazing personality, the fantastic person that you are, Amberlynn, she wouldn't have left you so soon over these ridiculous rumors or whatever. That's just my opinion. It's not a fact. It's my opinion. I think that Amber is always trying to genuinely put out the narrative of whatever she wants to put out. It's usually not true because the truth is too scary. And the number one main point of the story here is this: Amber believes that she is smarter than her audience. That's what I think. I think that she believes she is the smarter person. She's the smartest girl in the room. And the lies that she concocts are so blatantly ridiculous and can easily be proven. Like, here's my advice to Amber. You want to lie so badly? How about you learn how to do so? When you lie about something that is easily discerned as a lie and the proof is out there that it's not true, like, here's a basic example. For Amberlynn to say that she choreographed a bunch of dance numbers and always won first place is untrue. It doesn't matter if I said it. It doesn't matter if my Kermit said it. No one can win first place every single time for the rest of their lives. It's a mathematically, this is a math channel, non-probability. What kind of a mathematical probability do you even have to win first place? Amber tells lies that are easily seen as such because she thinks she's the smartest girl in the room.
Ella have a burner Instagram account.
I'm sure she did, but Damon White is the only one that I know for sure of. And yeah, she was all over the reaction channels and the Facebook and Reddit and Kiwi Farms. She checked that stuff out all the time.
Okay, so I thought that this was really important, at least for my channel, to include because I have always discussed this topic. So, Amberlynn, if you know anything about what Amber has said that she has been on Reddit once. This is just another example of a poorly constructed lie. There is no mathematical way that anyone went to Reddit once. I'm going to tell you why. For example, if you don't know about Reddit, in general, you can get answers to questions. People have discussions about movies, about lots of different things. Literally any topic you're looking for, it's probably there. My point here is this. For her to say that she went to Reddit just once is just nonsensical, just poorly constructed lie, because it's just the mathematical probability. This is a math channel that she went there once. No way. But her ex Destiny has talked about how Amber was obsessed with Kiwi Farms. Amber says that she doesn't read the forums, this is a lie. Now you have two people that dated Amber. Beck and Destiny say that she was all over the reaction channel. She was all over Kiwi Farm. She was all over Reddit. Amber says she went to Reddit once, but Beck is saying that she was always on Reddit. So, of course, Amberlynn is reading every single thing about her. This is just also common sense. Whenever things get taken down, it's, in my opinion, common sense that it is Amber doing it. Like, of course it's her. Like, she still hasn't figured out the game, which is why she's losing at it. She hasn't figured out that the more people talk about you, the better off you are. And all you have to do is not read it and let them make you more money. But Amber hasn't figured it out, so she's all there raging about what people are saying about her. Honey, if people weren't talking about you, you wouldn't be able to pay your bills. Like, the fact that she hasn't understood that the more people talk about you, the better off you are is, just something that she hasn't figured out, and she probably never will. But yes, there, you heard it there last, okay, from me. I told you that she's constantly on these sites and reading about herself, and you have two people that dated her saying that. I don't know what more people could want.
Amber claimed to love Rosa Parks so much. Has she done any research about her or know anything else? Not anything else she did in the civil rights movement besides the one bus incident.
I really don't think that she does know anything besides Rosa and the bus situation. I just think that she thinks it makes her look good to be interested in that. I don't really know. Like, I never got to see proof of any of that myself. All I know is that's what she told me, and it does kind of seem that every time she ends up having a breakup with someone, she's automatically talking to somebody else within a few days. So, I don't know.
It looks like that way because it is that way. Look, I've said this many, many, many times. Amber always is speaking with other women in the DMs on Instagram and maybe on TikTok. Definitely on Instagram. What it is she presents it to the people that she's dating as these are just my fans, my subscribers, people that message me to, offer support with what I'm dealing with on YouTube. And then as soon as she gets dumped, these people turn into her girlfriends. I mean, it's obvious. She always emotionally cheats. She cheated emotionally on Casey with Crystal, on Crystal with Destiny. She clearly admitted that she was talking to Wifey at least one time while she was still with Beck. The bottom line is, the reason that she's so desperately hanging on to Instagram when she says she gets so many mean messages there is because it is her dating site, pretty much.
The typical amount of time Amber set for visiting friends and family.
So, The timer would be for when I would hang out with my best friends. We would go down to the basement and play games and stuff, and Amber would choose to stay up in our room, and she would set timers for when I would have to leave my friends and come be with her again. And then whenever it came to like seeing my family or leaving and going somewhere without her, she would give me a time, like a specific time that I needed to be back. And if I wasn't back by that time, then there would be an argument. So on average, when I would be downstairs with my friends, the timer would be about set for 30 minutes. And when it came to seeing my family or leaving in general, she would just ask me when did I plan on being back. And whenever I would give her a time, she would give me a time sooner than that for me to be back.
This is manipulative and controlling behavior, and it is mistreatment. Honestly, I just think this is so ridiculous that Amber believed that because she controlled Beck financially, that she could give Beck a time to be back. What does that even mean? Obviously, now that we know that Amber demanded Beck to help her in the lavatory, maybe that's why. But my personal opinion on that topic is that Amberlynn did not need the help on a daily basis, but wanted it because didn't want to do it herself. Here's the most important thing. Other than Amber clearly mistreating and controlling Beck by doing that, that is like the worst, one of the worst things I've ever heard. And like, I don't even understand how anyone can do that to somebody. I wonder if she did this to Wifey, to Destiny, to Crystal, to Tommy, even when they were together. Doubt it. And I'm going to tell you what I think. I think that she played on Beck's good nature. I think that she felt that she could take advantage of Beck, and in my opinion did. I don't think that she would do this to other people necessarily. Maybe she would try, but I don't know if she would even try with everyone. I think that she believed this is narcissistic injury. She can't believe that somebody broke up with her, you know. I think that she believed that she was on a different level than Beck, and that isn't true. And I think that that's why she thought that she could get away with this stuff. And unfortunately, she did get away with this type of stuff in the relationship. This is not healthy. It's controlling, and it's just wrong on many different levels. Amber didn't have a life outside of Beck, which is one of the many reasons why I think the relationship ended. You can't just have a life that is only your partner. You have to have other things going on.
Did Beck ever feel uncomfortable when Amber would openly flirt with Destiny?
It was just to a point where I would just agree with Amber when she would say, no, everybody's just seeing things. I don't flirt with Destiny. I love Dana. I can't wait till they get married, you know, that sort of thing. No, I mean, I'd also detached myself at some point as well. So I didn't really care enough to argue with her about it because she would definitely not like that I would disagree with the fact that she did show that she still had something for Destiny.
Okay, so Amberlynn admitted later in like a Q&A that's still on YouTube that she was in love with Destiny the majority of the time that she was with Beck. It is my opinion that she is still in love with Destiny. If you watch and if you consume, if you listen to the way that Amberlynn says Destiny's name, I've never seen that before. Look, a lot of people, not everybody, have like the one that got away, and definitely 100% Destiny's the one that got away. If you look at all of Amber's breakup videos, the only one that she is devastatingly, truly heartbroken because she truly was in love was the Destiny breakup. I think if I've said this before, I think if Destiny came right now and she was single and, you know, asked Amber, let's just see each other, let's just do this, whatever, she would totally be into it. Amber's still in love with Destiny. She'll never admit that. Maybe she doesn't feel like this would be the best partner for her. That's different. But is she still in love with her? Does she still, people have that one person where it's like, you know, you always feel something for that person. Like you never fully let go of, even when you're already with another person or whatever it is, it's always that feeling like, you have something for that person. But I digress. I think what Amber did to Beck in various numerous different ways in the relationship is just unforgivable. There was one moment I remember, I believe it was Beck's birthday. I think it was. I think so. It was a really long time ago. It was definitely somebody's birthday, and Amberlynn invited Destiny and Dana and asked Beck to clean up like when their dog like went to the bathroom. I think that is just like Like the degradation, like she degraded Beck so many different ways, publicly, privately. Like that is not okay. Being openly in love with your ex, inviting your ex constantly to the house and lying about it, making your partner at the time feel less than, and like, why would you publicly and privately make it known that you are in love with your ex? Honestly, Amberlynn, you should focus on yourself. Like, I believe that Amber needs to focus on bettering herself before getting into any other relationships, but you mark my words, very soon she's right now already currently in the throes of, getting another girlfriend and all that other stuff. Yeah, the Destiny thing is ridiculous because Amber is still in love with Destiny, in my opinion, and mistreated Beck in so many different ways, but just blatantly throwing it in Beck's face that she was in love with Destiny is terrible.
Beck, did you ever have a plan to leave Amber before you actually left?
No, I never had a plan to leave. There were many times that I had tried to break up with her, but she would somehow find a way to stop it from happening by like saying that she would fix things and things would get better and we would get better. There was this one time that we had an argument on the way home and we stopped in the driveway and argued for a few hours in the car, and she just would not accept me trying to break up with her and would not let us go back in the house until I agreed to give her another chance to fix things and make things better.
Well, this is definitely new information. So here's the thing. When a person is a master manipulator, whenever I talk about Amber being a manipulator, people say, oh, she's not this enough to do this. Listen, I didn't say that she did it well. You don't need to be a manipulator that is like no one sees that you're manipulating. You just need to be able to do it. That's Amber. I think what she did here to Beck is wrong. I think it's controlling and manipulative. I think you need to think about this. This is what I would be thinking. If I put myself in Beck's shoes, and I'm sure they were wearing the right ones, but if I put myself in Beck's shoes at the time, like if I was them, if I knew that somebody was paying the bills and like they were, financially controlling me because Amber got Beck to quit their job in the beginning, I think to gain control, I would probably be wondering, like, if I break up with this person, where am I going to go? How am I going to have a roof over my head? And eventually, Beck couldn't take it anymore and did go. And, I'm really happy that they are happy now and happier and in a much more safer, better, more pleasant environment. My point is, understand that it is because a lot of people definitely judge Beck so harshly for staying with Amber, for doing this with Amber. But you have to understand, if you have if somebody is fully controlling you financially and in other means, it is hard to leave. It is, okay? But the other issue is I fully believe here that Amberlynn, like I said, played on Beck's better nature, knew that Beck was a decent person, knew that Beck felt bad for her. And what is that? Oh, you can't go back into like the house until you promise that you won't break up with me? No, that is controlling, that is manipulative, and I think that Amber tried to do these things, this is just my opinion, with Wifey and couldn't. Like I said, I don't think that she can actually fully repeat her behaviors with other girlfriends because most people would not take this. And also, she wasn't financially controlling these other people.
I mean, when I got blamed for the cancer, I was like, dude, me, Eric, Ricky, my mom, my sisters, every single person in your life, even your own friends, told you, hey, you should go to the OBGYN. And she wouldn't. She would not go. So how was that my fault? But yeah, she did have cancer and she had to have surgery for it.
Don't know. Amberlynn blamed Beck for being ill because if you look at the screenshot that I posted while Beck was speaking, it was all about Amber saying that Beck made it like that they weren't concerned, so Amber wasn't concerned. Amber, you are not just the deceiver, but the idea that you can't take responsibility for not seeing the proper doctor for your ailment is wild to me. Even if you, as an adult, and you were an adult, even if you had never seen that type of doctor before, even if you were refusing to listen to the numerous people, as Beck said, in your life that told you to go see a specific type of doctor, If you Googled your symptoms, a basic Google search will tell you to go see a specific doctor. You going to the ER is not enough, okay? And everybody here probably has known this for a long time, but if you don't, I'll tell you. In general, when you usually seek emergency care, like when you go to the emergency room, what happens at the end of your visit is they always ask you and tell you to follow up with a specialist in the area of whatever your ailment was in. I promise you that any emergency care facility will tell you to follow up with an OBGYN, whatever, whoever she needed to see. She never actually saw the proper doctor, which was her choice. And I can understand that she was afraid, and I can understand that maybe she had anxiety about it. I get that. But how was that Beck's fault? You chose to ignore all the advice. You heard what Beck said. Beck's, family, Amber's friends around her at the time told her, you need to see a specific doctor for this. At the end of the day, she just wants everything else to be other people's fault. Take responsibility for you making your own mistakes. And as far as her genuinely being ill, a lot of people don't believe her. I do believe her that she was ill. This is the only thing that I believe her about. And you heard Beck say that they were there and it did happen. At the end of the day, at this point, I can't believe that there is a person on the internet that literally blamed being sick on their partner. It's wild. And never apologized for it so far. Still never said, I'm sorry, it was my fault for not seeking proper medical care.
If you could go back to speak with your 2018-19 self, what would you tell them?
If I could go back and talk to my 2018, 2019 self, I would say leave immediately, run the other direction.
Beck said they wanted to be single for a while after leaving Amber, and they were. What made them realise that they were ready to date again when they met their current partner, who was beautiful, by the way. Congratulations.
I just feel like I was in a better place. I was going to therapy. I was taking medicine again. I had a job. I felt better about myself and things just were going good. So I felt like I could again.
I feel like Beck's story is very amazing proof that no matter where you have been in your life, no matter who you are, no matter what kind of bad relationship you were in, you can always make a difference. You can always change. Like the difference in your life is able to happen. People always think, like, I feel like when they're in a bad situation that it's never going to end, but it will. But you have to leave the bad relationship you were in. But in general, people's lives change. Nothing bad ever lasts, nothing good ever lasts. Like it's always like, juggling Kermits. The point is, Beck's story really proves that yes, you can get out of a bad relationship and you can get into a better one when you're in a better place. And I'm very happy for Beck that they are in a better place. And honestly, I just really feel like Amber owes them an apology and it'll never happen.
I want to know this one. Was Twinkie actually sick during that one Vlogmas, or did Amber say that for attention or greatly exaggerate her issue?
This was during the year that I don't really remember a whole lot. So I went back and watched that video, and the way she described it sounds really awful, and I don't remember Twinkie acting that way at all. And Amber does tend to exaggerate things, so that's probably exactly what she was doing. Because there definitely was a 24-hour vet close by, and I would have definitely taken her if she had been acting the way that Amber was describing. I was aware that she was lying to her audience about showering, but I think it was because she was embarrassed and was just trying to keep up an image. But I did not ever look at her Ask FM, so I was not aware that she was posting that she had just gotten out of the shower and so on.
Amber's obsession about lying about parts of her life is why she definitely doesn't have a good relationship with her audience. She still has not figured out that if she was honest with her real struggles, people would relate to that or at the very least respect her honesty. People can't respect your honesty if it's nowhere to be found. At the end of the day, she didn't just lie about things. It's one thing to say, I shower when you don't. Okay. It's quite another to make up elaborate schemes to prove that you are. Here's an example from just this week. She claims that she was in the shower. Fine, maybe you were. She's wearing a shower cap that is completely dry, okay? And she put clothes over a supposedly wet shower cap? Which one is it? Listen, here's the bottom line. I think that her lies are so poorly created that she thinks that she is the smartest person in the room. Amber, I don't believe that you are showering as much as you say, because you're obsessed with that whole narrative and you throw it and pepper all your videos with it. Like, we get it. You have a narrative that you need to uphold. Like, at this point, the showering thing is so redundant by Amber constantly saying it. It's wild.
I want the details of the FBI Frank story.
No idea about the FBI Frank story, really. It definitely wasn't my sister. Amber did come out and say that I wasn't the ex she was talking about, but I can't think of who it could be at all. For how long was she bedbound? It was over a year.
I think it is absolutely outrageous that the only YouTuber that I know on YouTube.com that has never been held accountable for her blatant lying is Amber. If anyone in any community lied as much as Amber did, they would be not able to upload videos and monetize them because their audience would have left. She doesn't have any consequences for her lies or treating people badly. You understand? Because she's always playing a certain role. Look, here's the bottom line. Amberlynn went around saying that the FBI agent contacted a sister of her ex's because they couldn't find where she lived. Then they gave her the name of some guy that was like saying bad things about her, and then they complimented her and her following. This is just sounds ridiculous because it is. It never happened. I think that Amber was at a very stale point in her life, so she created this ridiculous story. In the past, I've talked about this before. I thought about giving Amber the benefit of the doubt, where maybe somebody pretended to be an FBI agent, but Amber's story doesn't make any sense. No FBI agent couldn't find your house. This would never happen. Even if the FBI was, as she claims, as incompetent as she claims, they would just go ahead and ask the IRS Amber pays her taxes. They would ask the IRS where Amber lives. The idea that the FBI can't find an address for a person is laughable. And the idea that they couldn't ask the IRS is even more laughable. Amber doesn't think through her lies. Nobody was contacted by any FBI agent. Please. They actually deal with real issues, not mean comments on the internet.
I was walking on eggshells with Amberlynn. She was really easy to upset. I don't know where I got the strength. I was just so fed up and I knew it could not go on any longer. Was she an avid reader? She did read, but she definitely bought more books than she ever read. Did she fudge her way in numbers? Yeah, she would sometimes. There were just some days that she didn't feel like weighing herself, so she would just make up a number.
My opinion on all of this is that the narrative that Amber portrays in every single way on her channel is fake, false, falsehood that she is portraying. This year, Amber admitted she never read last year at all whatsoever, which is in general fine, but I'm pretty sure she did say last year that she read some things. I don't think that it was easy being Amber's partner when you are fully controlled, and all we can say is we're so happy. I think the majority of us are happy that Beck got out of that relationship. Like, Amber lies to everyone about everything. And I just have to say that, like, I think that she's very well aware of the things that she's lying about. Because if she wasn't, then she wouldn't sometimes admit to her lies.
Eric and Ricky ever S-talked Amber when she wasn't around.
I didn't know anybody who didn't, and I didn't know anybody who she didn't talk about behind their back either.
You know, when Amber was always on that couch, and you know what she was doing on that couch in the living room when she lived with Eric and Ricky and Beck, people would say to her, like, don't you understand this is wrong? Don't you understand that you need to get, like, medical help? Like, how do your friends feel about you doing certain things in their bathroom? And I remember watching this, and Amber would say, my friends love me. My friends love me. That's fine. Obviously, you are not a true friend if you are talking about them behind their back. And obviously, this is just my personal opinion. I think in general, whenever Amber has a friend, it's not a genuine connection because she's always looking what she can get from the person. She's admitted that in voice notes with her ex-frenemy Alexis. At the end of the day, Amberlynn never has genuine relationships. I mean, that's just what I have observed on her channel.
What sort of lengths would she go to keep up her lies? Any noteworthy moments of her trying to keep the mask from slipping?
She was always wearing a mask when she was recording a video, and she would try to make it to where anybody around her when she was filming wouldn't say anything that would make that mask come off. But during her live streams, you actually got to see a little bit more of who she is. I can't remember any specific times, but there were moments where she would be filming and she would nudge me and be like, don't say that.
I think it takes the average viewer a very short amount of time of watching Amber to see that what she is putting out is not true. It's a falsehood. It's always a lie. I have said for years that in watching her recorded videos are fake. They are just constructed in a way to make her look good or be the victim. They're never actual descriptions of what's truly going on. And people say that reaction channels are biased. Now, there's always going to be people that are going to say an ex, somebody that dated them before, is biased. But the way that I look at the situation is like this. You heard Beck just say that Amber always wore a mask when she was filming, but the live streams she can't because they're live in real time. If you want to see who Amber really is, go and watch her live streams where she says she doesn't care. She doesn't have a sympathy bone for a person that was literally having a heart attack, narc alert. Go and watch her laugh at other people's medical issues. Amber doesn't live stream pretty much anymore without people paying for it at this point. You have to be a member because she's so scared to reveal who she really is. So honestly, if people are not going to believe reaction channels, if people are not going to believe the people that dated Amber, my advice to those people, because they're out there, they comment on my videos, whatever, fine, don't believe us. Go and check for yourself. Compare any live stream she does to any recorded video.
Did go to therapy for a very, very short time when we were together, maybe a few sessions. But no, she was not diagnosed with BPD while we were together.
What was the final straw that made you end things, and what would you say is Amber's worst trait you didn't believe until it was over?
I've already answered this in Karina Kaboom's Q&A, but basically we had an argument because she was pretending to be me in text messages to our friends, and that started a big, huge argument, and I went and spent the weekend with my family and just decided that I couldn't continue anymore. I would say that Amber's worst trait was how mean she was to me and how she would pick on me, and I didn't see that until we had broken up and I was watching old videos back.
Amberlynn pretending that she goes to therapy or going to therapy for very short amounts of time and then blaming her treating people badly on whatever she claims she has is a typical thing that she has done for years. I don't believe anything that Amber says. Like I said, out of everything that Amberlynn has ever said, I only believe that she was ill and had the surgery because Beck confirmed it. Other than that, I don't believe anything that Amber says. As far as why Beck and Amber broke up, like the last straw, yes, they did talk about it in the Q&A that we did together. Basically, listen, Amberlynn's behavior in that relationship was the pinnacle of what, in my opinion, she could get away with. I don't think, as I've been saying throughout this video, that she could do these controlling things. I don't think she would mistreat other people just because I think deep down inside she knows that she could get away with a lot with Beck, and I don't know if other people would just like, they weren't in the same situation with Beck. I feel this is important to say. Beck was financially controlled. This really matters. Financial control and mistreatment really matters. And I just think that Beck was such a nice person that they wanted to help and they wanted to do what was best. And Amber just took advantage of that. I think that's, as I keep saying, Amber, you owe Beck an apology.
Did you ever get frustrated talking to her?
Wasn't that I would get frustrated. It was more amusing than anything. And the only thing that was really frustrating would be when she would think that something was right when it obviously wasn't. So either I would have to Google it or she would have to. I was extremely embarrassed when she would have me take pictures of her on the scooter for thumbnails. The whole hanging out with her in the scooter, walking around Walmart for hours was embarrassing enough. But it wasn't the scooter that was embarrassing, because I've walked around Walmart with other people who were riding scooters. And what was embarrassing about it was that the cart would be full of stuff, but then she would have me go get a new scooter when the scooter she was on would die. But I would have to ride it back to her and then switch all of her items over from cart to the one that worked. And she would just ride off and keep shopping and leave the scooter where it was sitting.
You know, besides Beck doing pretty much everything for Amberlynn, taking care of Amberlynn, and Amberlynn treating Beck so poorly during the relationship and so poorly for the next 5 years after, talking about them and all that other stuff in a negative light, I just wanted to say that Amber always likes to say that the audience is wrong about what they are seeing, what they are feeling in her videos. Basically, the audience knew what was going on. I think this Q&A with Beck really proves that what the audience were feeling, what the audience are always feeling, is correct. Beck seemed like they did not want to be in those videos. They seemed embarrassed in the videos, and they seemed like they really weren't enjoying the relationship. And that is exactly what was going on. And by the way, remember that time when Amberlynn and her mom were caught with like a cart and the mother just threw the cart somewhere? A lot of people were like, oh my God, how could you say anything about Amber and mommy? Because you need to put things back where you found them. And the thing is that especially when you have someone doing everything for you, like Beck did everything. They just told you, right? With the scooter and everything. Why couldn't Amber at least return things where she found them? Look, at the end of the day, what this proves is that the audience is always correct about what they're feeling about the relationship. Just like they knew that Destiny was no longer into Amber, just like they felt that the relationship with Beck was not full of romance, and just like they knew things that were going on with Amber and Tommy, just like people understood that the relationship with Valentine was not what Amber was creating it to be. Amber, what is the point of lying when your audience can tell the truth?
There were times that she would have me lie to friends and family and stuff about things that she would say about them. There were plenty of times that we got recognized out in public. There were plenty of times that people would come up to say, "Are you Amberlynn? It's nice to meet you," but there was nobody flirting with her or anything like that. And no, she never cleaned the litter boxes. I always did that. Whenever we first got together and I would visit, there was this room upstairs where the litter boxes would be, but it also had an extra bed in it. And the litter box was just so, it needed cleaned so bad that there was bed and on the floor.
All right, well, there's some new and outrageous information. When Beck and Amberlynn first met, there was like a room that had litter boxes, as Beck says, and the contents of the litter box was on the bed and on the floor. This is how Amberlynn lived. Amber, you were totally able to clean the litter boxes and chose not to. This is, and these are the kind of conditions that Amber's pets lived in. So there is nothing in the world that can tell me now. I don't care that Amber's going to say that her pets don't live like this now. There's nothing out there to make me believe that her pets are not living in these type of conditions, these deplorable, unacceptable conditions. Now, I always tell you that she needs to have her animals taken away from her. There you go. I mean, this is a person that saw the way that Amber lived. As far as Amber creating lies, asking Beck to tell lies, what else is new? Amber is not she's just not a person that could give a genuine answer. She likes to deceive people. I don't know. I'm just like so bothered by the way that her animals have lived and probably still do. This is why she should not be having animals. That's awful. That is just unacceptable. And I think the when animal control was called to your house, it's just a shame that your animals weren't taken away from you. That is not the way any animal should live.
Really mad about it. She told me that her audience is never going to let her live it down. And I think she told me to lie and say that I was just joking about it, but I'm not entirely sure.
Right, so that last clip was about when Beck inadvertently told people on the 2021 live stream that they had been helping Amber in the lavatory. Amber wanted, of course, Beck to say, oh, that was a lie and, they weren't helping her in the lavatory. Amber, your audience is still here. A part of your audience is still here despite how badly you treat them and that you lie all the time. Yeah, they wouldn't let you live it down. Why did you lie about it? Why do you lie about everything? Anyways, look, go and check out Beck's entire video. Go and check out Mr. Snowflake. I will link, as I said, Beck and Mr. Snowflake in my description box. I did not post the entire video. I wouldn't do that. So go and check out the video on Beck's channel in its entirety. And I wish Beck all of the possible best. I'm so happy that they are in a better place now. Thoughts, comments, dislikes, leave them in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about this video. Please check out Beck's channel. Go sub to them. And thank you all so much for watching. Here's a video similar to this topic popping up here. Go and check it out. Let me know what you think about this video, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for being here. Bye.